Hello, Miramar. I'm Commissioner Yvette Colbourne. Welcome to the Miramar Commission Corner. The Miramar Commission Corner is where we share with you some of our initiatives and highlights of city services. We are continuing our segment on hurricane, and now we have with us Mr. Tony Collins, Director of Public Works, and Mr. Ralph Trapani, of Solid Waste and Recycling Manager. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for being here. You know, it is hurricane season and it's on the minds of our residents, and we want to know just how prepared our city is, and we want our residents to know exactly what they need to do to prepare. So thank you so much for coming. And tell me, how does the city prepare? How does your department help to prepare the city in the event that we have a hurricane in our city?
Good morning, and thanks for the opportunity. The Public Works Department in the City of Miramar has a number of responsibility. During a hurricane, before and after, one of the primary responsibility that we have is to ensure that our right-of-ways or roadways are cleared. We want to ensure that our drainage system is prepared and ready to absorb any rain event that may occur. Typically, a hurricane comes a lot of rain, and it's important that we ensure that our drainage system is prepared to facilitate any kind of a rain event that we may have.
We never know what the hurricane is going to bring. It could bring a lot of rain, and if there's trash on a right-of-way or outside your home, it could easily become a projectile. So what are we telling residents to do when it comes to trash?
So what you want to do is not, if there's a hurricane warning or a hurricane watch issued, we don't want to start, that's not the time to prepare your house, not the time to cut trees, it's not the time to clear out your backyard. And you also want to watch out for your garbage, like you mentioned, Commissioner, in your yard, because that can only become a projectile, but it could also cause flooding in the area if it goes down to the drain and everything gets blocked up. Now you have increased chance of flooding. So you want to make sure your area is cleaned, prior to a storm. From December to May is the time to take those kind of steps.
I would think that if we can get our trash and recycling containers inside the house, we should take those in the garage or in the house, or secure them some way, because they can also become projectiles, right?
No, absolutely. What some people do, what we try to recommend, is just put a little bit of water in there. If you have to keep them outside, you fill them up partially with water, so it becomes increasingly harder to have those things fly around, and you avoid any damage to your property or a person or a pet.
Besides, we want to be able to use them afterwards.
Absolutely.
And if they fly around, then they'll be gone. We won't have them to be able to put out our garbage.
Right.
So
if they become damaged, it's hard to pull and push, from the system that we use. It's an excellent point.
Right. And our plants as well. We definitely want to protect our plants. So we should bring them in. Is that what you're recommending?
Right. If you have anything that's loose and can be, kind of easily thrown by the wind or knocked over, you want to take those in. Sometimes what you can do as well, if you're challenged for space and you have a lot of stuff in your backyard and you're lucky enough to have a pool, you could put some of your items in the pool, whether it's a chair, a plastic chair, a plastic table, some things that, can stay in a pool for a day or two without causing any issues to your pool.
Wonderful. And you said definitely don't go out and trimming your trees when there is a hurricane warning.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
That is not the time. There's not enough trucks, manpower to collect everybody's material. Well, follow our schedule, your current bulk schedule. If your current bulk schedule is there, when we get that hurricane issue or watch or warning, please do not hold that for a little bit extra to your next month, or when we come and clean up after that, then's the time to put those materials curbside for collection.
And I know at some point in time, you have to remove all your vehicles off the road as well. You cannot, because it won't be safe for traveling. So you definitely can't put out things at the last minute. The time to do that is when? It's now, before
Right.
before it storms.
Right,
That's the time for us to do that.
You want to be ready, be prepared, and be patient, please.
We also see floodings during hurricane. So how does the city prepare our lakes for that? What do you do, and how can the residents help?
So in terms of preparation, we have an ongoing stormwater maintenance program where we are responsible for the maintenance of certain lakes and canal within the city. Canal that are east of university is primarily the city responsibility. So we have a program where staff constantly go in, remove any overgrown vegetation, look for any blockages. When hurricane season is in, then we place an additional focus to ensure that the waterways are cleared. There might be trees that are, could potentially fall into the water. The city has recently established a program to remove overgrown trees in some section of the canal. That's an ongoing program. So we have taken out quite a number of trees this year that could potentially become a hazard during a storm event. We also
that's very important.
Yes, we got approval, and we're working with a contractor to remove trees that are on the canal embankment that potentially could be an issue. We also have a sandbagging program. The Public Works Department provides sand for our residents. We have 3 locations throughout the city. Sunset Lakes is one of them. We have the adult daycare, and then we have the multi-service complex, where we actually stage various loads of sand. We provide a tool to shovel the bags as well. We also make up sands to assist the elderly residents, persons who are less capable of actually filling up their own bags.
And I have gone out there and I've seen our residents come by. I've actually assisted some of our residents getting their sandbags as well. And I know that's one of the things that our residents do look forward to during a hurricane, because there are risks of flooding. So they want to make sure that they have sandbags. Some residents ask what to do with the sandbags afterwards.
Well, my suggestion is, if you have the ability to store it, if you have the storage space, you could keep it. If it's outside of the sun, the bags will hold up for at least a year or 2. If it's exposed to the sun will deteriorate the bags that they will get. But primarily it's sand, so you could just find a little low spot in your yard and just fill it out. But primarily, if you can keep them in a garage, then they will last for a little while. Another thing that we have done,
and you have it for next time.
Yeah, you have it for next time.
Next warning.
Next warning, right? Yeah. So protect it from the sun. That's the primary thing. The key. The UV rays tend to deteriorate the bags very rapidly. The other program that we have, we partner with the South Broad Drainage District to get information from that organization as to what they're doing in preparing for the hurricane. They have a program where they monitor the weather, they lower the water elevation, they pump the water out. So we're in constant communication with them, so we can get that information to share with our residents as to what is being done to mitigate any potential risk of flooding.
Wonderful. It is very good to know. It's very good for our residents to know that we have folks who are working on these things throughout the year, not just before a hurricane. But I know that just before a hurricane, you all are more prepared than ever. So thank you so much for coming. Is there anything else you would like to share that we didn't talk about?
Well, one thing I want to share with our residents is the fact that the Public Works Department, as well as the Fire Department, we're all here for the residents. We're here to look at their needs and try to respond as best as we can. But in an hurricane, the important thing is to be prepared and be patient.
Be prepared and be patient, because when responding and clearing afterwards, because you're also responsible to clear the streets afterwards.
Certainly, yes, it's our responsibility. Right. So I want to ensure that we are meeting the needs of the resident. But every storm comes with its own issues, its own intensity. No 2 storms are the same. Hopefully we won't have a lot of issues this year, but we're getting ourselves ready in the event that we should be impacted.
Well, the safety of our residents is most important. So we want to make sure that they have all the information that they need, that they are ready, that they do what they can on their part, and you are doing what you can on your part. We are doing what we can here in the city of Miramar to make sure our residents are ready just in case we have a hurricane. And hopefully we don't have a hurricane. That's the best case scenario. We don't want to have a hurricane. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out here, speaking with us, giving this information to the residents.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of this segment of Commission Corner. Until next time, stay well, stay healthy, and stay empowered.